There we are.
Hey, we're in. There we go. Hey guys, welcome to PLEXYSTARS. I'm Blake, and I'm here tonight with Dustin, all the way from China. Hey, Dustin. Um, we are having a little technical difficulties on our third host's phone, so if she pops in, she pops in. If not, Tanya really wanted to be here tonight, but sometimes technology just doesn't go in our favor. Tonight we have Caroline French, Emerald Ambassador. Hey, girl.
Hello. Hey. So
How you
happy to
doing?
be here. Good, good.
So we are going to get started. We're sorry for the delay, uh, but we're going to get started. Dustin, unmute yourself so that we can get that disclaimer up and going. Dustin.
Wait, I was turning on PLEXYSTARS.
You're who?
I was going on the PLEXYSTARS.
Ah, okay. So go ahead and read it.
The opportunity of a lifetime is brought to you by independent Plexus ambassadors and is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. At Plexus Worldwide, we want you to know that the results you're about to hear may vary from person to person, and we do not claim to cure, treat, or prevent any disease. Thank you.
How about that?
Yes.
How about that? So, Caroline, we now just put you up on the main screen so that none of the switching back and forth, whoever's talking, happens. So you have the floor. So first off, we want to know, how did you get introduced to Plexus?
Yeah, I actually joined Plexus in December of 2013. So I've been in, over 2 years now, whatever that is, 28 months, 29 months, something like that. But actually, it was from Facebook how I was introduced to Plexus. A friend of mine that I grew up with at church and youth group, I was already following, stuff that she posted, and we had some just similar things in our lives, but and just kind of natural living, holistic, organic foods. She was always posting about healthy stuff, and I loved it and loved following her. She and I actually weren't. I mean, we grew up together, but we were like 5 school grades apart, so we were never like in the same friend circle, so we didn't really know each other, but we knew of each other, and we knew each other's families, and actually took piano lessons together and stuff, so we were connected. And so then she started one day just posting stuff about Plexus, and to be honest, at first I was kind of like, what is she doing? She's posting about her business on Facebook, and then I started to kind of find myself going back to her post and like going to her profile and going, okay, what was that she posted the other day, and like reading all this stuff, and so I loved that Plexus was all about healthy living and natural and plant-based ingredients. That really intrigued me, and I'd been experiencing some health issues, and so it was kind of one of those things where you just figure out you got to do something, and so one weekend I just was like, okay, I just got to do it, and I just signed up, and I actually had never talked to her about it. I had never commented, I had never asked her any questions. I just had been following this information, and I had been checking out the website, and I just signed up under her. I was like, okay, and I just kind of dove in as an ambassador. As well, because I was like, okay, I want the best cost, and I was also looking for a business opportunity, like something on the side as well. Right. So I just decided to go all in, and if nothing else, then I got the cheapest cost.
So what kind of can you elaborate a little bit on what Plexus has done for you in health-wise, the most compliant way possible?
Right, right. I would say that with the Plexus products, I feel like I am back in the land of the living again. That's really what Plexus has done for me, is I've regained just feeling great. I'm able to enjoy life again. I'm loving it. I feel like I'm part of my life again instead of kind of just watching it.
Right.
So that's really, yeah. Some of the things that I had been dealing with, I had been having some issues that regular doctors couldn't diagnose.
Mm-hmm.
And this started, well, now it's been over 4 years ago. But at the time, it was about 2 years, or so at the time that I learned about plexus. And so after seeing lots of doctors and stuff that they couldn't find anything wrong with me, like on paper, I found an alternative medicine doctor who put me on the path to, kind of healing my body through the use of supplements, through the use of foods, and so I really owe everything to that doctor for kind of, helping me get on that path, which helped me tremendously. Probably got me about back to like 75–80% as far as what I needed. But I was still struggling every day just to kind of make it through. I dealt with having trouble sleeping at night. I dealt with a lot of discomfort in my legs and muscles and joints. I dealt with just a lot of issues with energy and digestive issues, and just a really broad span of stuff that was puzzling.
So you were a mess.
I was actually a disaster. I was a walking disaster. Yeah, I was a hot mess. It was, my life consisted of getting myself to work every day, trying to just function there, and do what I needed to do so that I could leave and go home and lay on the couch.
Right.
That was my life,
That's kind of like how I felt when I prior to plexus. Yeah,
Wow.
it's not fun.
It's not.
When you look back at it,
miserable existence.
It's not fun. Yeah, like you don't want to ever go back and be that same person that you were.
Exactly, and I thought that that's what my life just might be like for forever. I thought, I had improved so much through working with my doctor, but I thought, you know what, I'm never gonna get past this point. This is gonna be it, and it's just gonna be kind of maintaining, and maybe this is just how I'm gonna feel every day. I don't know. So it was a difficult thing. Yeah.
What products for plexus do you take then?
Yeah. Well, I actually started off. My reason for like wanting to get on the products was like, okay, maybe, because I was already taking a really long list of supplements from my doctor. So I believed in supplements, that they could help me, but I didn't know if there was anything that plexus could do for me that maybe, because I was taking all these different things, I didn't know that there would be anything different, but I thought, well, maybe I could feel a little bit better. But I wanted to lose some weight as well, that even despite all this stuff that I've been doing with my doctor, I was still pretty fluffy. So that was pretty discouraging. So really I had kind of a vain thing of, well, if I can't feel better, then can I at least look a little bit better type approach. Yeah, so I jumped in. I started with the Slim and Accelerator Plus when I first started, and then after probably
was that the old accelerator?
No, it's the one we have now.
Okay.
Yeah, they had already transitioned to the new Accelerator Plus. So I started with the formula that we have today. Okay. And then within about a week or so, just in talking with my sponsor, just more about what my issues were, she's like, I really think that you need to try the ProBio 5. And I had been taking a really good quality one from my doctor, so I was like, well, it makes sense, then I'm going to try this one. And so I ordered that right away, and then I also ordered the BioCleanse and the X Factor. So I quickly, within a couple of weeks, I added in the ProBio 5 and the BioCleanse and the X Factor, probably, within 3 weeks or so. And so that's, on the Slim Accelerator alone, I had so many different energy issues. It was probably close to a week before I started to feel something for me. but I started feeling just a little lift in energy. Like I would come home and I didn't need to lay down immediately.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, okay, well, I can clean up the kitchen or I could do this. So it was just like little perks that just kind of got better and better.
Yep.
And yeah, and then when I added in the Probio 5 and BioCleanse, I did experience some die-off symptoms from that. So I felt, I was tired, especially tired for a few days. I went through that, but for me, I already dealt with that stuff on a daily basis. So I knew enough at that point that was a good thing and that would get better. And so after probably about 3 to 5 days, my sleep started improving. I mean, I had not slept through the night or been able to go to sleep like comfortably in 2 years. And so the fact that I could sleep through the night and start waking up feeling like I had slept was a huge, huge deal. So those are kind of the little things that just started happening for me, and then it just improved, month over month, and I just started feeling better and better, and it was amazing to me. I was like, oh my gosh, and I just kept learning, like everything I was learning about the products kind of started connecting the dots for me as far as the stuff I had already learned from my doctor.
Right.
It was kind of like, oh,
yeah,
it's all making sense. Yes.
Light bulb
and
effect.
So totally. So for me, it just was the Plexus products have been that missing piece for me. That missing piece, yeah.
So then, shortly after that, when did you start working the business?
Yeah, so I launched my business before I got my welcome pack, before I got my first order. I didn't intend to do that. In fact, the night that I signed up, and remember, my sponsor, my friend, she didn't know that I was signing up, so she was kind of like, hello. She calls me her ninja ambassador. So she messaged me, and she's like, hey, I'm super excited. Let's talk. And I was immediately kind of like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't want to talk yet. I've kind of shut her down. I was like, I don't want to talk yet. I don't have my products yet. I'll let you know. Like, that was my message. So I'm sure she was like, great, this one's going to work out. Yeah. And so then probably the next day or so, I started just playing around in my back office and kind of trying to, set that up. And at that time, you could connect your website to your Facebook. And when I was trying to link that up, it accidentally posted. I just did it automatically. It posted my website link to my Facebook page.
Okay.
And so, so she met, so I think it was like another day, and she was like, hey, I see that you posted your link to your website. And again, I didn't even intend to do that, but I had a couple people like on my Facebook page like comment about it. Yeah, like, hey, I noticed you posted this, And so she's like, hey, I noticed you posted your website link. You should really tell people why you joined Plexus. And I was like, maybe I should. And I had never, like, there's people that knew what my health struggles were, but I had never talked about it on Facebook before. Like, I may have said something about going to a doctor or whatever, but I had never, like, told anybody, like, publicly, like, what I was dealing with and what I've been dealing with. So I just kind of, I wrote up a post and said, I'm kind of jumping in to Plexus, and here's why. Here's what I've been dealing with. Here's what I'm, excited about. Here's what I'm hoping for. And I just kind of invited, anybody that wanted to know more, to let me know. And that was a really liberating thing. It was scary, but it was really liberating because I had never done that before. And I'd never talked about my struggles before with people outside of my close circle. So I just did that, and then I just didn't stop posting. I just kind of kept going, Yeah, so I launched at the same time that I joined, basically a few days after, and then I just was sharing everything that I was learning, and then as I started experiencing the products, then I just was kind of doing updates on that and what I was going through and stuff like that. So the whole thing was fascinating for me. Just like you said, the light bulbs were going off
Right.
even that early for me, and so I was hungry to know more. I wanted to know more about the products. I was fascinated at all these people that were having amazing improvements in their life, and so I was sharing about that. So it was pretty exciting.
So how long did it take you to get your first 3 ambassadors?
Ah, I went silver. So I joined on December 1st. I went silver on the last day of January. So it took me a solid 2 months to get my first three ambassadors. So which is fast. It's fast, but a lot of people around me that joined kind of the same time as me, um, they were already there. Like they had it in like
Mhm.
days. So I was posting probably anywhere from 3 to 5 times a day about Plexus. I was talking to a lot of people, but it wasn't until full 2 months before I went silver.
Yeah, it took me 4 months. I signed up October 20th,
Mhm.
2014, and I
Mhm.
didn't go silver until the very end of February
Yeah.
of 2015. And
Yeah.
then it took me an entire 11 months to go gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
feel, I feel, I feel like that span from silver to gold is like the hardest.
it is the hardest thing to get to. It is because you're building the base of your business.
Hmm.
You're building blocks, that from where everything else is going to come from. And so it is the hardest jump because you're doing it all yourself.
Pretty much,
Your
yeah.
team members are all brand new. Some of them may get started right away. Some of them may not, but you're pretty much building it mostly
Not only
yourself.
building your
So
team, but you're also building relationships too
right,
while you're doing the entire thing. The whole purpose of,
right.
Plexus is building relationships with everybody.
Right,
And,
right. And you're brand new to Plexus, so there's so much to
exactly. There's
learn,
so
you
much to learn
know?
and absorb, and sometimes people get overwhelmed and they just quit,
Yeah.
which happens to a lot of people, and people just,
Mhm.
people don't see that, you
Yeah,
know.
I think that's a struggle point. I think people want to be successful, and that's a fear. It's like, you want to do something well, and so it's kind of like, well, gosh, if I can't know, if I can't do it well, what they think is well,
Right.
then I don't want to fail.
And
But gosh, I mean, nobody starts off knowing anything when you join. I
exactly,
mean, everybody starts in the same place, no matter how fast or slow you go. We all start at like ground zero as far as what we know. You know,
exactly. So like,
you're all good, all good. They're just chiming in.
They're fighting.
It's like a
sorry about
symphony.
that. I live with a zoo. I live with a zoo.
I love it. It literally is like a symphony.
There's two more that just have to go out. I have 5 dogs.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Dustin, you had a question.
Yeah, so we have a question from somebody that's watching. She wanted to know like how much weight did you lose
Okay.
since you started?
Yeah, I've gone from a size 10, 12, closer to a 12 to a size 6. So I really don't even weigh myself anymore. I didn't
Yeah.
weigh myself a lot. I would do it periodically, and I would measure. I've lost track of the scale. I don't do that. I go by photos because even when the scales stopped moving and the inches stopped showing up on the tape measure, I
Right.
could compare photos, and I can't explain it. I can't explain being slimmer and nothing changing in my measurements or the scale. So for me, it's all been in the clothes and especially my photos. So even when I don't go down anymore in the clothes, I look at a photo and go, oh my gosh, how is that? So it's the craziest thing, but it really does
I,
work that way.
I
I'm
felt the
totally
same
with you on that.
way. What, Dustin?
I'm totally with her on that. Like photos, like that's what we try to tell people. Photos are worth everything.
Yeah.
Worth 1,000
Um,
words, buddy.
yes, that's crazy.
Like,
Yeah,
I
it,
go,
it, it really is. It really, and I tell people, I'm like, if you have a weight loss goal, you want to use all those ways to kind of track your progress because you don't know when and where some of that's going to show up. Sometimes it may be showing up on the scale, but sometimes it may not. It may just show up in measuring, or it may just be like, okay, nothing's changed, but I put on a pair of pants and I can't keep them up, you know?
right.
So,
Yeah.
or it's just like in a photo where it's like, wow, I can look back. I've got a photo comparison, just like my face. And my face alone, I can see how puffy I was. I just had a lot of inflammation in my body. I can see the puffiness and in my eyes. I mean, when I look at my eyes, I see the deadness that I once felt. And when I compare it to now, it's like, you know what? Pictures don't lie. They don't
right.
lie what's taking place on the inside and how you really do feel. You can put on a smile, but when I look back at that and I kind of remember those days, it's just like, man, I just don't even know how I did that. How I put on a smile and just went along. I was just in a daze. So.
And then you have your lovely husband that's not here with us tonight. I know he is a big time Plexus ambassador and supporter.
Yes.
But was he reserved when you decided to join Plexus? Like, was he kind of skeptical, like most husbands, or what?
Yeah, that's a really good thing. So, pretty much, okay, so I'll just tell you this. So the short answer is, so short, I had been looking for something to do on the side, like online, for about a year because I needed to get out of my job because of my health issues. So we had done, together, we had tried a couple of network marketing companies like quite a while back that fizzled really, really quickly, but never went anywhere with that. But I had been looking for something, and everything that we came across was just like we couldn't figure out what the product was, or it just seemed like a scam or whatever. So when I started telling him, hey, I've been seeing this stuff on Facebook, and I'm kind of looking at it, he was just kind of like, oh, okay, great. Well, and then I just joined, and then I told him that I joined, and yeah, I just was like, hey, remember that thing that I told you about? Well, I just signed up, and I'm gonna do it, and I ordered stuff for you too, so we're gonna do it together.
What level
Oh,
was
wow.
he?
Right, and so he was really supportive. So I could tell he was reserved about it, but he was like, okay, great, I'll do it with you. And what he says is, yeah, he was totally skeptical. His family has done probably most well-known MLMs out there. His family has probably been a part of it at one time or another, and so he kind of grew up with MLMs being a part of their family, but they weren't ever able to be successful at it. And so that was the point of, his skepticism was from that experience, and he kind of thought it would be something that, from a business side that we might try for a few months and then it would fizzle out. And from a product side, he just thought, it was like a diet type thing, and so we would do it because we had done different series of diets and stuff. And so he just thought, well, we're going to do this for probably 90 days, and then we'll find something else, So that was kind of where he was coming from. But he was supportive of, okay, if you want to do this, and we're going to do this, and we'll see how this goes. So
What rank is he?
he's a gold ambassador, very close to senior gold ambassador.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
so that's exciting. Yeah. Very exciting.
And he's had some great benefits from it as well.
He has. He loves our Ease line. So our Ease cream and our Ease capsules, he takes the same products that I do, plus Mega X. He loves that, but he absolutely loves our Ease cream and our capsules. He used to get up every morning. For the past 8 years, he's gotten up, well, minus the last 2, but he would get up every morning and get an ice pack out of the freezer, get his coffee, and sit in the chair and ice his back for about 15 to 20 minutes every day. And he would take, lots and lots of Advil, like to get to that prescription level strength, nearly every single day to manage those, aches and all that kind of stuff. And he doesn't do that anymore. He started, which he loves, and since I've even known him, he's always had multiple bottles of whatever kind of gels or anything else that you could put on yourself. He's tried every single line of product, and he is sold on our Ease cream and being really effective and it really working. And he started off trying the Ease capsules, and we learned that you could do a loading dose of that. Like if you have things that you experience all the time, then you can do a loading dose of that for a while to really kind of get to the source of that, and then it becomes less and less, and then you lower how much you're taking, and that's what he did. And he's just had phenomenal relief by using those. So that's a huge thing. He's seen weight loss as well. I think we've probably lost track of the inches for him. But he also has found a lot of relief with digestive issues. He had his gallbladder out back in 2009, and so being able to process different foods has been a challenge. And he's found a lot of help with that, especially with the ProBio 5 and the BioCleanse, really being able to help his system not only process the foods, but kind of just build that immune support. So I could go on and on. He used to take daily pills for all that seasonal stuff you can deal with, the sneezing and the watery eyes and all that kind of stuff, dealing with infections, and he doesn't have to do that anymore either. So lots and lots of improvements for both of us. So
that's awesome.
When did you go Emerald?
I went Emerald last July. So right
at the cutoff, almost.
Right at the cutoff. I slid in kind of right at the ends. So just enough to be able to go to Hawaii last September. So that was amazing. We had never been on any kind of trip like that before, let alone staying in a 5-star hotel, let alone not paying for that hotel.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that would have been a trip that we would say, oh yeah, we're gonna do that someday.
We'll do that on our 15-year anniversary or something like that.
Right, but have no idea when that would ever be.
No.
Just kind of one of those fleeting things. So that was really amazing.
That kind of seems like to be the same answer that we get all the time when we have Jules on here, when we ask about that. Like, they never thought that they would ever make a vacation like that happen.
Oh,
yeah, but even to go further than that, as people that are not enrolled, making it to Leaders Retreat, earning that trip is like a once-in-a-lifetime trip as well. Even though you still got to pay for to get there, the hotel itself and what Plexus does for you while you're there is over the top.
It's totally over the top. Yeah.
If you take Leaders Retreat and probably times it by 100. Sorry, I'm losing my voice.
You're okay.
Over 100, then just imagine how nice it is. And even convention, Plexus really does everything to the best.
Everything with Plexus to me is 5-star.
Yeah.
It's totally 5-star. I mean,
and
people
say,
oh yeah,
is just amazing.
It is. It is for the whole ambassador group, not just people at the top. It's everybody, you know, and it's amazing. And I've been to other conventions before. You know, a lot of people may have been to different things before, and then they go and see how Plexus, like, they don't just say, "Oh, we love you guys." No,
They
they
literally love us.
show it.
Yes.
They really do. I mean, the lengths to which they go to demonstrate that to ambassadors at every single level is really amazing. It's really
over the top.
is. Yeah.
It's over the top. And
Yeah.
did you guys see today that convention is sold out?
Yes. Yes. I was like telling my team yesterday, I'm like, if you are not registered, you better get online now.
There's a girl on my team that had her plane ticket purchased but not registered. So she's on a waiting list now.
Okay. Which there's some people that registered at the beginning for the early bird registration that maybe weren't sure if they, you know, because we were like, hey, if you're not sure, go ahead and register, and you can always, you know, give that up. So that'll happen. So I know some people on the waiting list will be able to get in. Just don't know, you know, how many at this point, but
just kind of
maxed out at 12,000 people, and we're going to be at the MGM in their arena, whatever they call it.
It just kind of makes you wonder, you know, what next year is going to be like with the rapid growth that we're having, you know, already in 2016. And like you said, you know, we're at the MGM where they hold UFC fights, and they just held the ACMs, and they hold so many, and I think they even shot a couple movies at that place too. I'm not sure.
Probably, yeah. It's kind of surreal to go, wow. This company that I'm with is we're holding our convention at the same place as these major events. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, and it's going to be a whole different setup, kind of being in this arena and what that, you know, because we're used to kind of these convention halls and all towards the stage, and this is going to I think wrap around probably. So it's going to be, it's just going to be surreal.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be
crazy. Yeah. It's going to totally be crazy.
It's going to be a fun nuts. Okay, it's going to be fun. We're all going to have fun in Vegas because we're in Vegas, but I feel like this is just,
you know,
what?
Because you know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but for us, what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas.
Right,
you know?
right. Because we're going to take everything and we're going to be sharing it, and it's just going to, you know, it's going to even explode even more.
Calling my name.
But we kind of need to wrap it up. So, what kind of business, like a business tip or two that you would like to offer to anybody that's watching or will watch? You know, something that you share with your team.
Okay, I'll give you like three really quick ones. So my first thing is don't wait to launch. I am so glad that I launched my business even before I got my products. So many times, because I felt that when I signed up, I was like, oh no, I'm not doing anything yet because I don't even have my products. Like, I have to experience them. You don't have to have a personal testimony yet. And that's not, you're going to build that along the way. You know, so if you weren't a customer before, I mean, you're going to build that along the way. So you just need to dive in and start sharing what other people are experiencing and sharing about the products. Because if you're excited enough to join it and try it, then you can go ahead and launch your business at whatever level you want, whether it's, you know, covering your cost or going, okay, I'm going to do this all the way. I mean, don't wait, because your testimony is going to come, and it's going to be your testimony. It's going to be unique to you. And so if you wait, then somebody else out there who really needs the benefits of our products, they're going to be waiting because you're not sharing yet. So you're kind of holding back what could happen for somebody else. So that's kind of the first thing that I'll tell you. The second thing is don't be afraid to reach out to people. I did very little of this in the beginning. I really primarily relied on Facebook and social media, probably for a variety of reasons. I mean, I was scared and stuff like that, but I did reach out to a few people, you know, here and there that I thought could really benefit from the product. But that's really key, because I can't tell you how many people now, even 2 years in, that are like, oh, I've been watching your posts for so long, or blah blah blah, but they never messaged me, you know. And so if I'm reaching out, you know, it took me reaching out to them to see if they were interested, and they were, you know. So you just never know who's been watching that has some interest or a need that, you know, they just may be afraid or just haven't broken that ice yet to talk to you about it. So that's kind of my second one. And my third one is, you can never start training your team too soon. So I was doing conference calls with, I mean, I was working full time. So when the first full 7 months of my business, I was working full time, and then Plexus allowed me to retire. But I started doing training calls with my team members when I was a silver ambassador. So probably once I had about 5 people, I started doing calls, and it was just the basics. It was how to navigate your back office. What does this mean? What are the products? You know, just kind of what I would call one-on-one training, which I still do. I still do one-on-one training, and just that basic level. I mean, Plexus history, you know, where does our company come from? You know, how have we grown, and giving that credibility to who we are, I think is really important. So you can never start that early enough. So that may be like meeting with people like in person, or it may be like doing a video conference like this. Like, I didn't even know about that then. I was just doing like conferencecall.com, or a call, or just, so it could be like, you know, that. But so I think that's really important, because everybody has something to teach their team. Even if you feel inadequate and new, like you don't know anything, you know something, and your team needs to hear it from you.
Yes.
So those would be kind of my 3 tips.
Great tips.
Yeah.
Well, as Dustin said, we have to wrap this up. So, Caroline, thank you for sharing your insight on the business side and giving us a little bit of insight on you and your husband, what Plexus has done for you guys. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be on your team call, and I just loved hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much.
What?
This is not a team call. This is a Plexus call.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
what this does, what we do after this loads up into YouTube, we'll post the YouTube link on Facebook.
Perfect.
We'll send it to PLEXYSTARS. We'll send it onto our team pages. We'll send it to many different pages, and whoever watches it, you know, has access to watch it. And so
that's fantastic. Well, I hope that what I had to say will mean something to one person out there, you know, to take the leap, or to get going in their business.
A lot of great information. So actually, next week this is for everybody who's watching. Next week at 9:30, we have Kyle and Christy Hall.
Yes, my favorite couple. Well, one of my favorite couples. The Frenches are my favorite couple too.
No, it's totally cool. They look awesome. So I don't know them yet. So that's going to be an awesome, awesome time. My goodness.
That'll be a great call. And then we have scheduled out until April, and we are actually looking for whoever wants to be on in May, and they're on forward. So if you have any recommendations, or if anybody watching us wants to be on, just shoot us a message on PLEXYSTARS. Just shoot me, Dustin, or Tanya a message, and we'll get you scheduled.
Yes.
So,
and Sonia says she's really sorry about tonight. She really wanted to be on, but she can't get any of her apps to open today.
Yeah, she's having a lot of trouble with her phone right now. So
anyway, y'all have a great night. I'm about to go to a park and get a little jog in and check out the city. So.
All right. You guys have a great night. I'll talk to you guys later.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
You're welcome. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.